Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And these are live pictures from Brooklyn, New York, where several people were shot at a subway station. Unexploded devices were also found at that station. It's the one on 36th Street and 4th Avenue, and this map actually shows the area where it happened. Here's Gloria Pasmino live from New York City with the very latest.
That's right. It's still a pretty active scene here in the Sunset Park section of Brooklyn. That is after a chaotic scene unfolded on the city's subway this morning, shortly after 8:30 o'clock in the morning, where passengers were in the middle of a chaotic scene. 16 people have been injured, including 8 of them shot, and we are waiting to hear updates from officials here in Brooklyn. 8 people, as I said, have been shot on a Manhattan-bound N train this morning. They were discovered at the 36th Street station right here in the Sunset Park section of Brooklyn. Now, witnesses report hearing gunshots, one of them saying that it sounded like fireworks while they were riding the train. Other witnesses also reported seeing what appeared to be a smoke bomb as smoke engulfed one of those subway cars that the commuters were riding in. The train coming to a full stop on 36th Street, where those 16 people that have been injured were discovered. The fire department responding to the scene here early this morning. And as you can see, still very much an active scene here. We are waiting for officials to update us on the latest, waiting to hear from the police commissioner and the fire department on the latest. The area surrounding the subway station remains closed to traffic and pedestrians. Still a very active scene here after 16 people were injured, 8 of them shot this morning.
Very, very scary scene as well. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated. Thank you, Gloria, on Local 4 and on ClickOnDetroit.com as we get more information into our newsroom. We're also following 2 big breaking stories. The New York Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin has been arrested. But first, Oklahoma makes it a felony to perform an abortion. Oklahoma's governor signed that bill into law today that makes it a felony to perform an abortion, punishable by up to 10 years in prison. This is part of an aggressive push in Republican-led states across the country to scale back abortion rights. And now back to New York now, where the state's number 2 official, Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin, who's pictured here, will face a federal charge that he conspired to commit bribery while a state senator. So we'll keep you updated on this story as well as we get more information. There's a new report that shows the prices of food, gas, and shelter soared at its fastest pace in more than 40 years. The Labor Department says its consumer price index jumped 8.5% in March from 12 months earlier, the biggest year-over-year increase since December of 1981. Ukraine-related disruptions, supply chain constraints, and high demand are all believed to be driving up these higher prices. So what does that mean for you? That's the question that a lot of you might be asking. Well, our Hank Winchester has a preview of what he's working on for later today that will hopefully answer that.
The cost of everything seems to be going up, and the new numbers show inflation hitting a 40-year high. I'm Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank. So what can we all do to save on these items right now? Later today, I'll be joined by my colleagues Rod Maloney and Paula Tupman. They're going to take a look at how we got in this financial situation and what we all can do to save money and get through it. Our live coverage begins today at 4 o'clock.
All right, thank you, Hank. Meanwhile, President Biden is going to be broadening sales of 15% ethanol gasoline to help with rising prices. A senior administration official says that he's going to make that announcement later this afternoon, and that's when he'll tour a biofuel plant over in Iowa. The EPA usually prohibits the sale of E15 gasoline from June to mid-September. A waiver could make it available year-round. But let's give you a check of the latest gas prices right now. AAA reports the average price per gallon of regular across Metro Detroit is about $3.98. Listen, that's less than a penny less than it was on Monday. And then across the state, prices are around $3.93. Let's turn now to the war in Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin says Russia's military campaign in the country will continue until its goals are fulfilled. In the meantime, the UK government is warning that fighting will intensify in the coming weeks as more and more allegations of Russian war crimes continue to be reported, including rape. Molly Hunter has this report.
We're hearing from President Putin today. He's meeting with close ally Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko. Putin is saying there is no doubt he will win this war. This comes as a dangerous and deadly new phase opens up in the east of the country, and the Ukrainian people are paying the price.
This morning, Russia shifting its strategy with likely deadly consequences. The UK government warning overnight that fighting in eastern Ukraine will intensify over the next 2 weeks as Russia continues to refocus. And the Pentagon says they're closely monitoring reports of possible chemical weapon use in the eastern city of Mariupol, saying we cannot confirm these reports.
Russian leaders have shown in the past the brutality with which they conduct and prosecute their operations.
The UK says they are urgently working to verify these unconfirmed claims, first made on Telegram by the ultra-nationalist Azov battalion fighting in Mariupol. Overnight, President Zelensky saying that Russia is preparing for a new stage of terror. And this comes as the fighting intensifies already in the east. The city of Kharkiv under constant attack in the last 24 hours, firefighters still searching for survivors. And here, around the capital of Kyiv, mounting evidence of war crimes. UN Women warning they're hearing more and more reports of sexual violence. In a first-hand account, 28-year-old Olena in Bucha tells us she was raped by a Russian soldier dressed in civilian clothes who had offered her medical care.
За руку, посадила на машину. И даже я не пыталась даже кричать, потому что нема никого.
Olena and her husband Sasha fled the area after the attack. They walked in the middle of the night to a new neighborhood, which is where we meet them.
Are you angry? Have you even had time to process?
Да, Бог ему судья, скажу честно.
Now, under international law, rape is a war crime. Now, in Mariupol, Russian separatists are denying using chemical weapons. We're hearing from the UK this morning. They say if it turns out to be true, though, all options are on the table. Molly Hunter, NBC News, Kyiv.
Be sure to stick with Local 4 and clickondetroit.com for continuing coverage of the war in Ukraine as we get more information into our newsroom. The Red Cross here at home now helping 25 people after an overnight fire damaged an apartment building. The fire started early this morning in the building on Central near Dix in southwest Detroit. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but crews don't know yet just how significant the damage is and if residents will have to find other living arrangements. We're also still waiting on word on the cause. A Chesterfield man is sentenced in connection to hitting and killing a man with his car 2 years ago. Jamaris Wells pleaded guilty to second-degree murder last month in the April 2020 death of James Harbaugh. Prosecutors say that Wells hit and killed Harbaugh after the victim signaled for him to slow down near Mound and 9 Mile Road. Well, today a judge sentenced Wells to serve 15 to 30 years in prison. All right, still to come here on Local 4 News at noon. The White House is expected to update travel mask rules in the coming days. So after the break, we'll take a look at some circumstances that might influence that decision. Brandon?
Sensational 60s for much of the area as we speak. It looks even better than it feels. Mount Clemens, downtown, hundreds of miles away from any clouds, but clouds will come and could bring some severe weather soon. Coming up.
And we're continuing to follow breaking news this afternoon from New York City, where police are still searching for the person who attacked multiple people at a subway station during the morning rush hour. This is a live look at Brooklyn's Sunset Park neighborhood right now. CNN reporting that 8 people were shot and 8 others were hurt. Investigators believe that the shooter deployed a smoke device before opening fire. So we'll continue to follow this for you and have more updates as they become available. We'll be right back.